Hello, I'm Pastor Dave, and this is our Monday morning sermon recap for Monday, April 11th, 2022. Here we go. This week we looked at Luke chapter 19, verses 28 through 40. And this is Luke's account of Jesus' entry into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday. These are familiar words for us. But even though they're familiar and we hear them every year, there's still a message for us from Christ. Now, when we look at Christ's entry into Jerusalem, there are some things we often forget. One of them is that this event was carefully planned. Jesus thought out this event. He thought out the details. And one of the great proofs we have of this is the animal itself, the colt that had never been ridden, where he sent a disciple exactly where to get the animal and exactly what to say to the owner. It's a reminder that this was planned. But we can also see how deliberate everything was in this event, because the entry into Jerusalem was a defiant action meant to attract attention. The priests, the scribes, the Pharisees, those who wanted Jesus killed, they would know he was coming. Jesus wasn't slipping into the city quietly. He was entering like a king. This was meant to show Jesus was still in control, and that those who wielded power on earth had no control over him. And that kingship is important because that's what this event also signifies. It was very symbolic of this. Jesus was claiming kingship by entering Jerusalem this very way. And that includes the animal he rode in on. A conquering king comes in on a horse, as one would go to war. A king entering in peace would enter on a donkey. Jesus is showing love and restraint. He's not showing the power and control he could wield, but the love and peace that he was bringing with him. But more than that, there's something else that happened that day. The entry into the city gave everyone one last chance to accept Jesus. He wanted people to know he was there. He wanted people to know that he was the king. This was the last chance people were going to have in this last week to accept him before his suffering, death, and resurrection. And this is something he did until the very end. Until his last breath on the cross, he was trying to save. Knowing all of this, it reminds us of the choice that we have to make, because we are called to accept and trust Christ. We need to choose to trust him. We need to choose whether or not we are going to respond to our King. So that's your recap for this week. Remember, we worship every Sunday at 8:45 online on the East Salem UMC Facebook page, and in person at East Salem at 8:45, Otterbein at 10:15. But until next Sunday, I'm Pastor Dave, and I hope to see you in the pews.